All right, that's better. So on the starting lineup here for St. Clair, we've got Walla, Jub, Kingdom Heart, the Mage, Crypt, and Jussie. On the side of University of Austin, Texas, we got this and that. Shanio, Chief, I Can Spell, and Bean. As we get started here on Ilios, we're going to get right into the action. Of course, this one is the King of the Hill, or the control points map style, so we're going to just jump right into things with Kingdom Heart point blank in here with everybody. And so far, 2 members currently going down here for St. Clair, and his first pick is going to likely go over into the hands of the University of Austin, Texas. Demage, the final one alive, and he is going to be brought down. My apologies for the beginning there, as we did have a bit of a spectator bug kind of slow things down a little bit, but we're back in the action now, so should be all good and ready to go, as that first fight went pretty handily towards the University of Austin, Texas. And a relatively aggressive defensive position they have taken here, getting away from the control point to try and pressure the Saints before they even get anywhere near the point. Jub trying to be a little bit of a menace, but didn't really take much off of anybody when he dove in there. So far, so good for University of Austin, Texas, as they take down Kingdom Heart and Crypt. This is going to force the retreat here for St. Clair. Regroup and try to get something done, as Walla also goes down this and that with the snipe. Jub point blank with the Austin, Texas squad, and he's not going to be able to find anything. So I Can Spell going to essentially stagger the St. Clair squad at the moment, as we get 50% into this first game, or first round of the first game, rather. Jub getting sniped right away by this and that. Nice shot from this and that, and his Hanzo doing fantastic work so far to start this thing off. Nice stun, and Walla gonna get the ping up onto Bean, getting the headshot after the stun. We've got 2 ultimates coming out here for the side of the University of Austin, Texas, and again, this and that taking down Jub again instantly. And then Shinio able to take down Jussie in the back line. This and that essentially in the back line by himself, just picking away at the St. Clair squad. Got to see if they can find a way to deal with that. And the Deadeye goes right into the shield, but at least he reloads, I suppose. And another shot. This and that, just finding his marks here today. A fantastic start for him, as St. Clair falls. And this first round is going to go over to the University of Austin, Texas in pretty convincing fashion. I do hope everybody is having a fantastic evening here. This is Danner's Banner, going to be bringing you the action for tonight's TESPA Overwatch doubleheader. We've got 2 matches, so we should have an exciting evening. If you had joined us earlier, had a pretty busy Sunday for Saints Gaming matches. Of course, the Fortnite squad did pretty well, I would say so myself, this evening, picking up 2 Ws today. Now let's hope that the momentum continues here, but this time for the Overwatch squad. Can see if they can turn this one around. And we actually have a Hanzo coming out for Walla now, after seeing this and that just kind of open the Saints up pretty handily. And there we go, that's exactly what we needed to see. Walla up the headshot onto this and that, giving a bit of a taste of his own medicine. Gonna allow Saints to get a pretty good position, but we actually got a double sniper comp. We got Shinio on the Widowmaker, and it's going to be something that Saints have to be very careful of. Of course, Jub gonna be the first to eat that one. 1 member down for each, and we're gonna probably have this and that returning shortly in this battle. There he is in the background, I think. And Demage gonna be able to take out the other Orisa. And so far, 2 down. We have a lot of low health bars here for St. Clair. Shinio going to take out Jub, winning the Widowmaker duo, but then Crypt's going to finish the job. At least answer that back. We have an odd little situation here where Moira's pretty deep, and she's probably going to be able to fade her way out of there. Walla wasn't able to clean it up, but at least threatened the Moira in the sense that she was out of position. Jub finding this and that, getting the headshot. Nice little pick there and wins the Widow duel, getting the headshot onto Shinio. Looks for another one, but no dice this time. Now, as much as Jussie does not like this character, he's doing exactly what he needs to do, keeping everybody alive, and Walla and Jub Jub just slaying in the background. A much better looking game here so far for St. Clair compared to the first round. Nice shot, Jub Jub. Can we get another one? Not quite. St. Clair almost getting a little over-aggressive with their defense, but they are going to bring it back to the control point. 60% on the board currently for them this very moment. And we have 4 ultimates online, and we're going to have Crypt with the Flux to start things off. And there's going to be the Dragon Strike, but also the Sound Barrier. Sound Barrier coming out from University of Austin, Texas. Going to keep everybody alive. That Flux not really doing much, getting canceled out. Jub Jub finding Shinio, but Bean also actually taking down Jub Jub in the meantime. Sound Barrier for the Saints. Can they finish off this dang Sigma? He's sitting there with like a pixel of health, but they're going to take down Chief first. At least Kingdom Heart going to be able to get that. But this and that switching over to the Widowmaker. Got to take down Crypt. We have Dimash answering one, but now it's starting to look like it's going into the favor of Austin, Texas, as Yarisa Yuriditsu, forgive me if I butchered that pronunciation, but he's going to pick up a double kill for himself to give University of Austin, Texas the flip and start earning some points here, as St. Clair is now on 99%. Just need to win one more team fight. They blew through all their resources in that final, or that last fight there. So they won't have anything just yet, but when they give you gifts like that, you might as well capitalize on it and say thank you. With Bean going down nice and quick, but Shinio actually pops out Walla, who is trying to snipe from the top. So we are currently 5-5. We're looking like we're going to possibly get another pause here. And it does get reverted, so never mind. We're going to fight this one out. Jussie going to fade his way out of there. Crypt getting low. Jussie right there to keep him topped off. Walla is back in the fight after getting picked off earlier. And see if he can get himself a pick. It's actually going to be Yuriditsu who gets the pick onto Damage. And we have 2 going down for St. Clair currently. The rest of the squad going to try and run away. Jub Jub missing the first mark. Looking for another opportunity, but isn't going to find it. Bean going to take down Kingdom Heart. That's 3 down currently for St. Clair. And they should be looking to retreat at this point. And actually, it's going to be University of Austin, Texas, who are going to retreat back to the control point. 70% currently on the board for them. One more bad team fight could mean curtains for this first round for St. Clair. They had a fantastic start of the second round, but Austin, Texas looking fantastic so far. Jub Jub is going to find the Widowmaker. This and that going down. The Coalescence is going to get the kill there for Chief, but then Walla and Jub Jub both get a kill, and this is going to possibly turn this over. But Chief and I Can Spell going to spin it around, and in fact, they get another one. And this fight is dragging so long, it's going to be up to Kingdom Heart to try and stall this alongside Jub Jub, but nobody is there to touch it. They do barely touch it, but the emergency Hammond's coming out from Yuriditsu is going to take the kill. Jub Jub is going to go down. We do have the Flux actually coming out from Crypt, and we have the emergency Hammond now for Damage. He's sitting there with 50 health, but he is going to eventually go down. Walla is somewhat close nearby. We have one on the point as well. Crypt's going to go down, and that is going to be round 1, game 1, or round 2, game 1. That's not confusing at all. Going over to the University of Austin, Texas. Strong start for them. They are very dominant, especially in that first round. But round 2, a little bit more back and forth. But even though Saints were at 99%, they're able to clean that up rather quickly afterwards, after they got the flip. And a nice little play there from University of Austin, Texas. So very shortly, we will be getting into game number 2. It does appear that the Saints do need a second to have, I think it's a Walla needs to switch PCs. So we'll probably have ourselves about a 5-minute break before we get into game number 2. just to allow him to get that switch off. Gotcha. Yeah, so a bit of a rough one for the Saints to start things off. Like I was saying before, round one completely in the favor of University of Austin, Texas. However, round two, much more promising, but just unfortunately was not able to clean it up. That final fight where they did lose it, they had used pretty well every ultimate on deck, which made it extremely difficult for them to get back from. Yeah, so we're going to have ourselves a very, very quick break before getting into game number 2, as we figure out the technical difficulties on the player's side. But it shouldn't be very much longer. Stick around. We'll be right back for game 2.
Now entering King's Row.
All right, game number 2. We're going in hot on this one as we have St. Clair on defense for King's Row. The spectator bugs are starting to get a little bit annoying, unfortunately, but we shall deal with them as they are handed out, I suppose. This time we have Walla onto the Bastion. Of course, we know St. Clair absolutely love this map for the most part. Seem to be relatively consistent on it. And we actually have an Ashe on the side of University of Austin, Texas. And they send out Bob pretty quickly, and oh my god, we just got deleted. So between Bean and this and that, once again, just doing a fantastic job of exploding the front line of the Saints and getting the kills where they need to be, getting the priority kills, I suppose. Although, however, Bean getting a little bit out of position, Walla going to be able to burn him down extremely quick. But the first point is lost, and St. Clair is going to be able to at least push up a tiny bit as this cart starts to begin to come out. Flux coming out from the side of University of Austin, Texas, but the May wall coming out from St. Clair is going to deny any sort of offense to follow up. Do have the Pharah up in the sky. He's trying to be a nuisance. We do have Walla, however, trying to dive in with the tank form, but it is going to get blown up by Bean, but res pretty quickly by Kingdom Heart. Can he deal with Bean, who's flying high up in the sky currently? Walla is actually going to go down a little bit ahead of everybody, away from his shielding partners. Bob going to come over and just smoke himself in the face, but there's the barrage coming out from Bean, finally charging that thing up rather quickly, actually. And Saints are going to finally deal with it. Jub going to be able to take Bean out of the sky, but not before Jussie falls. So pretty back and forth battle here on this cart. Constantly being contested. The Blizzard coming out without many of the Saints being nearby. Jub just kind of feeling confident that he can handle it at 2v5. A little questionable, especially now that Chief just beats him down. A little bit of a overzealous maneuver there for Jub. Going to cost them the ultimate, at least. The Flux is going to get 2, so Crypt picks up 2, but there's the sound barrier coming out. Here, it's so going to take down the Crypt pretty quickly. And this and that and the rest of the squad from the University of Austin, Texas, showing up big right now. As they push this thing almost right to the second point. And as Saints go to try and contest that, this and that is right there on that Ashe, just to be a nuisance. And I can spell just finding Walla getting extremely over-aggressive. Jub, however, going to find himself a kill back. Does take down this and that, but a little bit rough right now for St. Clair, as they have made it to the final part of this map. Bean did switch off the Pharah for the Hanzo. However, the Jub's the one doing the sniping in this case on the May, taking him down pretty quickly. Flux coming out from the University of Austin, Texas, as they try to push this cart. This and that is going to get the kill onto Walla. Damage passing one right back, though. And St. Clair are going to be able to follow up between all the members of St. Clair, doing a ton of damage. And they're going to send their reset right back to spawn. And we do have the Reaper now coming out for University of Austin, Texas. That is going to be Bean making another switch. possibly upon getting this point, they did make this switch a little bit more of a close quarters battle, especially around this S. Crypt's getting hella low at this point, but he is going to be saved by the support line of St. Clair. Coalescence coming out, Kamehameha right down the center of the team, or at least right around the Orisa anyway. Bob gonna come out, but Jesse's gonna get out of there just in time, but I could spell taking out the mage. Walla gonna take down this and that though with the Deadeye though, so good usage of that ultimate. However, it does get resurrected, and the rest of the University of Austin, Texas are coming in hot, doing a ton of damage to St. Clair. And that cart has passed the final turn. This is the final stretch here for the University of Austin, Texas to get themselves the three-pointer here in this second game. Someone from St. Clair needs to contest that thing. They're just walking this thing in, but there is someone finally there to contest. Walla trying to find an open man, but nobody is there. Just the perfect positioning for this, the University of Austin, Texas. None of their valuable players there to get picked off by a snipe. And actually, Shineo on the Ana going to get the final kill to allow them to push this for the full three-pointer.
0-3, switching sides.
Now, I know Austin and I often say that this map goes one of two ways, either full holds or a full three-pointer for the most part, and it looks like it's going to be another one of those days. I know we see this map quite a lot, and that seems to be the results we're getting. Now we got to see what happens for St. Clair. We know the strats they like to go for on this map. We're probably going to see the standard Symmetra play with the Bastion. Although I look over at Walla trying to see who they're selecting at this moment, and it's looking a little bit different. They're hovering a couple characters. Because right now Jub is currently on the Sombra. We've seen him try this once before, or maybe twice before this season, and I don't recall it ever working. However, they do a ton of scrimming, and they do a bunch of practice, and they did have the CSL tournament yesterday. So these guys are warmed up. They're definitely well practiced. It's just, what are they running?
Hello.
And sure enough, the Sombra does get switched off. We are going to get the Symmetra. So tried and true play going to be coming out here for St. Clair as they're going to try and teleport to that high ground. How does the University of Austin, Texas try to defend this? He defends rather aggressively, essentially right up front at this choke point. We're just going to stall St. Clair a little bit, but they do eventually get the teleport, and it's going to leave most of Austin, Texas pretty exposed until they finally fall back into the corner. And it's going to be I Can Spell the first to fall. Walla jumps down, going to try and find the proper angle on these guys in the corner. If he can get that, it's going to be essentially curtains, unless they can somehow burst down the Bastion. And they are definitely trying. That is a Hanzo up there from Bean, who's going to be just putting on the hurt. In fact, he does take down Walla. We have a pause happening again. Walla does get disconnected, it looks like. So we're currently down a player for this attack. And they're just waiting on the pause. This fight's going to be finished off, and the pause is going to come out. Unfortunately, just issue after issue coming out here for St. Clair, but it looks like a quick fix. He is back in the game, so we're probably gonna have to reset our attack. The game's gonna keep on going where we're at. So okay, big shout out to University of Austin, Texas for the cooperation during these spectator glitches, as well as the accidental disconnect there. A little bit of a rough end here for the Saints in terms of tech, but we'll see what we can do anyway. This fight did get essentially lost. We do have the reset currently happening. Jesse goes down, but we trade it for Bob essentially in this one. And the mage goes down before the teleporter even gets the chance to come out. So Saints are going to have to delay this a little bit longer because their big beefy front line is pretty much gone here. They just have the Sigma currently. And of course, in this double shield meta, you kind of need both your tanks. Now we have 2 ultimates on deck, just the supportive ones, and we're gonna start opening fire. But actually, the Sigma tried to make the read, actually. I did like that, with the Flux on the point that they teleport to, with the Hanzo of the Dragon Strike right on top of it. But thankfully, I think that was Jussie with the invulnerability fields, keeping everybody alive. Before Walla got slept there, he did get the kill onto the Orisa. So 1 player down currently for Austin, Texas, but they do manage to trade it back. But Crypt, then on point, currently capturing, does find Beam. So the big sniper currently for the side of Austin, Texas is down, and this is a long point to try and run back to. Ash is just about to drop. This point is still getting contested, barely on top of it. Kingdom Heart trying to keep everybody alive, but that's a solid invulnerability field from Jussie to at least stall this a little bit longer. Crypt gets a kill, Demacia getting a kill, Jussie getting a kill, and this one's all going for St. Clair. Took a little bit, but we get the point, and now it's time to escort this card. So now that we have completed this initial point, we'll probably see the Symmetra switch off sometime shortly, but Jub Jub does have the ultimate currently, so they'll probably try and do 1 fight with it and then make a switch. And then with Walla having tank form and Jussie about to have his square of boosting of sorts, whatever you want to call that thing, his ultimate, it could be devastating pretty quickly. Bob going to come out from this and that, but Saints are going to melt through it alongside I Can Spell. So a solid start here for St. Clair as the rest of the tank line and Jub Jub continue to push forward, pushing these guys essentially right back to the second point. That Dynamite just doing a ton of damage though. Thankfully for Damage, Kingdom Hearts right there topping them off, keeping everybody healthy. Like a solid, good support. Popping the Valkyrie when things get rough, especially now that Bean is in the back line. And we're going to get a pretty sick view, actually, from this fight, from the bird's eye view from Kingdom Heart, as he's just keeping everybody alive alongside Jussie's invulnerability field. Huge play offensively and for the supports. You don't get them too much credit throughout the games, but between Jussie's invulnerability field and Kingdom Heart's work with the Valkyrie and keeping the right targets alive, all of the Saints are going to be able to pull through that second point easy, and a huge combo actually there from Damage and Crypt, able to pop that guy. This and that getting taken down before even getting really a shot off. A Walla point blank with a Maywall, not going to be the most optimal of positions. Kingdom Heart making the switch over to Ana. Some of the longer sight lines once you pass this corridor could be definitely valuable. And Jub Jub proving me wrong, keeping this Symmetra for another round, and it's about to get the second ultimate. Bob gonna charge on in. Where is he? There he is in the kind of in the front. Jussie gonna pop in vulnerability fields, gonna keep everybody alive, but it does eventually go down, and he is going to go down as well. The skirmish is still going down. We have people falling through the floor and whatnot. And eventually, University of Austin, Texas is going to be able to plow through this as Saints get about about halfway through this next point, about midway through that S curve. And oh god, Tobias just got smoked by a boulder. But we live in. We've got supports. Now Walla getting smoked, and actually the Dynamite from this and that going to finish things off. And they already committed the ultimate from Jussie, so they're going to try and plow through and see if they can get a pick with this, and then more than likely retreat if they don't. But I do hear another ultimate coming out. That's going to be the Bongo coming out from the side of University of Austin, Texas. The Orisa going to push the rest of St. Clair away, and slowly but surely the clock is ticking down as we're about 2:15 left on the clock. Some of the Saints have to back up though. It's a little bit of an odd spot. Jub Jub's going to hide in the corner. I don't think they've spotted them there. But thankfully, the rest of St. Clair do retreat back to their zone. And a teleporter play, actually. This and that, having absolutely none of it. Sniping down Jussie with a solid headshot before everything even really gets started. But a nice biotic nade there for Kingdom Heart going to take down Beam. But we do have Bob charging in for this side of the University of Austin, Texas. We have a nano-boosted Crypt, though. The Sigmas are charged up and ready to fight in this front line. Of course, it does negate a little bit of damage, gives you a little bit of extra defense. But when all of them are focusing you, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't if you have solid, or it does matter if you have the solid support line there for backup, which of course, Jesse and Kingdom Heart making it work. Crypt leading the charge, pushing these guys so far back. Boulder smoking one of them, and actually Chief gonna get sniped down by Walla. So a huge healing force for the University of Austin, Texas is out of this play for at least a little bit longer as we're down to the final minute in this push. Crypt a little bit far ahead. He's gonna get focused down by a lot of the members of the squad. But we do have a Blizzard coming out. I believe that was from Texas State Trade. Walla does go down, but it's going to be this and that going down. But Chief is back. Does come back right in time to bring this and that back into the fight, and he currently has the high ground. So this is a really rough spot to be in, especially if you're the support line of St. Clair, as this and that just keeps popping off on everybody in the back line. 30 seconds currently. We have one more push here for St. Clair, and let's hope they do it together and don't trickle, because this is going to be make or break for them here. We have the Dragon Strike, we have Nano Boost, and we're about to have a shield here from the Symmetra. Let's see if they can make it work. And that's actually going to be him going point blank. I don't think he even got the Dragon off. So unfortunately, the ult's going to waste, and the rest of this fight is just not going in St. Clair's favor. This is going to be the 2-0 going into the favor of University of Austin, Texas. Much better second game, very competitive. But for this one today, for our first match, University of Austin, Texas is going to be the better team in this game. Good games, well played. And this and that, going to get himself the play of the game for game number 2. Let's take a look. Just absolutely melting everybody in this one. Disgusting.